contract brewing essentially is hiring another brewery to brew your beer. So we were responsible for the branding, the recipe design, everything but the actual manufacturing of the beer. So the process looks like you find a brewery to contract brew for you. You negotiate price, show recipe. Sometimes you have to adjust your recipe a little bit to fit their brew system and their processes. They brew the beer, they package it, they send it all to the Connect Logistics warehouse. And then once it's in the Connect Logistics warehouse, retailers, liquor stores, bars, restaurants will order it through a web portal to their bar and restaurant or liquor store. So you really don't have control. You're not able to check on the beer daily. You're not able to make adjustments once it's been brewed. You basically hand over the recipe, and pretty much after that, it's out of your hands. We contracted through 2 different breweries, initially Yellowhead, downtown Edmonton, which ended up closing at the start of the pandemic. And then we contract brewed through Alley Cat, just down the street from us here. We did that specifically because we wanted to keep our product made in Edmonton. We wanted to be able to check up on it. We wanted to know the people who were making it. And we're really good friends with pretty much every brewery in the city here. The other option is you go through a larger contract-only brewery. There's 2 that I know of in the province. They're in Calgary and Innisfail. And we looked into those options, but it was more important for us to stay in Edmonton. Yeah, we started that way because we wanted to make some cool beers for our friends, and we were successful at it. So we kept making more beers. All along the way, we were building our brand, we were building our following, and that went a long way to opening this location. We learned the industry even more than we had known it before, and we also built a following. So when we opened our doors and didn't have a sign up, we were still very busy. Our brand, Ale Architect. I come from a creative world, and my business partner, Mason, he comes from an engineering world. And we see an architect as somebody who has a creative element and a engineering element, and those overlap. An architect uses basic building materials, timber, concrete, glass, to build something complex and unique and interesting. For us, it's malt and hops and water and yeast, and we combine those basic ingredients to create a beer that's interesting and complex and unique. So that's where the name comes from. We had been looking around the city for a location for 4 years, looked all over, looked downtown, west side, but the zoning and the proximity to residential of the 99th Street corridor here is sort of a perfect mix or a perfect storm for a brewery. At the same time, more of our brewing friends were opening places along the street here, and just at the time we signed the lease is when they created the Happy Beer Street program. Happy Beer Street is a program, or I guess a cooperative between the 8 breweries up and down the 99th Street corridor, and we work together to put on events and draw people to this area. Usually monthly we have a big event. We have food trucks, live music, food, cask specials, all kinds of fun stuff. We're also really close to a lot of residential. The Richie neighborhood and the other neighborhoods around this area are well-established neighborhoods. They have great community programs. They are the people that live around here are very involved in the community. Lots of cyclists, lots of activity, and that's our market. So we want to be close to them as well. Since we opened in April, the reception from the community, the city has been amazing, far beyond expectations. Our tap room has been extremely busy. We haven't had a chance to sell any beer outside of the tap room to bars and restaurants or liquor stores. We've been able to keep everything in-house, something we hope to change in the future as we grow and expand. But right now, all of our product is available only in the tap room. We just started packaging product here. We're doing 473 ml cans, so tall cans, and then of course kegs. Cans are available as soft sales. Kegs, you can buy a keg to take home as well. Yeah. Legislation here is any liquor sold to a licensee, bar, or restaurant, you have to sell at a wholesale price, and that price is defined. It's the same for everybody. And then that liquor store, bar, or restaurant can mark the product up however they see fit. The benefit of having a tap room like this is that we get to mark the beer up as much as we like and sell it in our tap room. So much better margins. And also with the added benefit is we get to have a face-to-face experience or face-to-face interaction with our customers as they're here and help tell our brand story and share what we've built here as part of that. Our beer is priced to be accessible. We do make a premium product. We use all the best ingredients we can get our hands on, but we want to make sure that the beer is accessible to everybody. Beer is in every person's drink. I like to say that a bar stool belongs to everybody. So we want to make sure that our beer is priced in a way that anybody can afford. So in 2018, we started with a beer called Django. When we started the company as a contract brewery, we wanted to just make a fun beer. Part of our slogan here, or the way we talk, is we say we make beer for all of our friends. And so we wanted to make a fun beer for all of our friends. And Django is a Belgian white beer, and it is spiced with a little bit of ginger and Szechuan pepper. So the Szechuan pepper gives the beer a little bit of a tingling sensation, and so you combine that with the carbonation, and it's kind of excites your palate. And that was our first beer. And our second beer was Balsam. Balsam is a English dark mild, and that's a real brewer's beer. It's low alcohol. We serve it on nitro here, so it comes with a thick, creamy head on it. It tastes almost like chocolate mousse, and that one's been a big hit for us in the tap room here. Outside of that, the beers that we love to drink the most are lagers. We have two lagers on tap right now, a Munich Helles style lager called Low Crispy, which is one of our mainstays. And we have Utopia. Call it a New World Pilsner, sort of traditional techniques and traditional brewing methods using New World hops. And the other kind of beer that we really like to drink is hazy IPA. So we have, right now we have 2 on tap, but we've had up 4 in the past, and we're brewing more hazy IPA today, and we got more coming down the line. And we love those beers so much because we find that those are the best expression of the hops. We source hops from mostly the Pacific Northwest, but also from Australia and New Zealand, Europe. And there's just been a lot of change and development in hop varietals in the past few years. And every year there's new hop varietals coming out, and we want to see what those taste like. And the hazy IPA or the hazy pale ale is probably the best way to express the flavors of the new hops. Canada isn't really a great place for growing hops. We're a little too far north. We do use some traditional hops for our European beers. And we use a lot of Cascade and stuff for some of our other beers, but our primary source for hops is the Pacific Northwest. Although, that could change as these hop breeding programs and everything. The barley breeding programs have developed varieties of barley that are better suited for our climate. and other climates, and so perhaps that's coming. Currently, we don't have any beers with local hops. I guess, like, also that said, we haven't been around for that long either. Not even one full growing season. So harvest should be coming up pretty soon, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, I started out as the brewer, so I have about 10 years experience working in a brewery. I started at the Norseman Brewing Company in Camrose. So initially, the recipe work, I did most of that. It is a collaboration, or was a collaboration between myself and my business partner who did all the recipe work. When we opened here, I started off as the brewer, quickly finding that running a business and doing the brewing was more work than I could handle. So we brought on Jesse Moore, who's our head brewer. And he comes from many years experience, industry experience in breweries as well. Excellent recipe development, excellent palate. So he's taken on the brewing. We still collaborate on all the recipe design, but most of the work now is done by Jesse. I try to poke my head in once in a while, but I'm often getting pulled in some directions. We also have Chris in the back who's come on. Chris is our brewery assistant, comes from many years of working in liquor stores, in buying, knows every product on the shelf at a liquor store, has an excellent palate, and he's helping Jesse out and helping us out. There's kind of, I guess you could say, there's two kinds of brewers. There's a lot of opportunity in brewing in Alberta right now with the explosion of breweries, and so we've had a lot of brewers come from out of province, find jobs around the area, and then move on to something bigger and better. And then we have the local brewers, people that are from Edmonton, grew up in Edmonton or Alberta, and they tend to stick around. I guess I believe that it's better to have a brewer stick around for a long time to develop that house culture, the house flavor of the beers. Something that's very important to most breweries is the brand, and the brand is often expressed primarily through the products that you make. So it's not just imagery, it's the kind of beer you make. And you develop a following, you develop a clientele that are expecting a certain kind of beer from you and come back for those beers. So I think it's best to. The brand of Ale Architect is my work. So everything you see from the artwork on the cans, to the tables, the chairs, the signs, the layout of the brewery, the social media, the posters, everything that we've ever done, I've created. I come from a background of graphic design and marketing, and I would say that the brand of Ale Architect is really me. As a designer, you always have that one big project you want to do, and for me it was Ale Architect. So colors, our brand is very joyful and happy, poppy. We went with white and light woods to create a comfortable space, a welcoming space, and to do something a little bit different than the breweries around us this week. Our food partner here is Birch and Bear Pizza. Birch and Bear is another local company. They have a restaurant downtown, and they opened up a second location here. They also have a food truck. We're in a bit of a, the zoning here doesn't allow restaurants, but part of having the brewery is you have to have a small menu, and you're also allowed to have food service. So in our Happy Beer Street area, you won't find many restaurants. The ones you do, they have special zoning. But the breweries, part of their bylaw is that they can have food service. All the equipment that we have at the brewery here was bought used. We found this equipment in Rycroft, which is about an hour north of Grand Prairie, in November of 2021. Myself, my business partner, and one other helper, we did 3 trips up to Rycroft with 2 trailers and hauled all the equipment back in a week. We completely decommissioned, disassembled, and moved all that equipment back into this building shortly after we signed the lease. So everything is used. This was at a time when there was a lot of supply chain restrictions with COVID. So to find brewing equipment in the province was like a huge score. It's not the equipment we would have bought had we bought brand new, but I'm happy we found this because we wouldn't have gone this big had we bought our own equipment. So we brought it all back, we reassembled it. We did all the layout here of the brewery ourselves. We cut all the trench drains. We did all the flooring, we did all the construction. Meanwhile, all that equipment was in the building. So in retrospect, it slowed us down because we could only work on one job at a time. We had to keep moving all the equipment to do the work. We saved a lot of money between finding all the equipment used, along with doing all the work ourselves. It took us longer than we expected, but we did save a lot. And like I said, it was during the COVID supply chain shortage. And something that really helped us is that we were able to adapt as we were buying fixtures and buying fasteners and building materials. So there was stuff we just couldn't get that we needed, but we were able to quickly shift gears and come up with another solution. So that saved us a lot of money. Our brew house is 1,800 liters or 18 hectoliters. We have 4 18 hectoliter fermenters and 1 bright, and 2 double batch 36 hectoliter fermenters and 1 bright. We also have a small system in the back, 3 300-liter tanks that we do split batches into for experimental brews. We have a small canning line. That's probably it. Our walk-in cooler we also got used. We went, some friends of ours that were building a brewery, the building they were building it in was a food warehouse, frozen food warehouse, and the large cooler in there they didn't want, so we went and disassembled that, hauled it back here, cleaned it up, and installed it in our brewery. The one thing that maybe that we would have done differently or could have done differently, and every brewery will probably agree on, is to build a bigger cooler. We thought we had built a huge cooler that could hold a ton of kegs and cans, and we found out very, very quickly that we did not have the space that we expected to have. One advantage breweries have to restaurants, perhaps help them survive times like COVID, is we can adapt quickly. We can move from selling product in-house to more packaging. AGLC, during the COVID pandemic, we weren't open, but they did loosen up a lot of their rules and restrictions. So they let breweries deliver door to door. They got rid of some of the barriers to collaborating and warehousing beer as well. We're also, beer is sort of a, it's a blue collar, everybody's beverage. So in times of, being stuck at home or whatever, beer is like it's a familiar beverage. It's a local beverage. There was a lot of focus on supporting local through those times. And the breweries that best adapted and best marketed themselves stuck around. We've done collaborations in the past, and we will be doing them moving forward. We just haven't had a chance to catch up and do those things in our new space yet. Yeah, we've done collabs with North Brewing in Halifax, Parallel 49 in Vancouver, Town Square, Sea Change, and we love doing those projects. We just haven't had an opportunity to do it here yet. The benefit of collaborations is, well, for one, you just get to go hang out at another brewery, spend a day making beer, but you'll learn something. Every brewery and every brewer operates a little bit differently. Everybody has different processes and techniques, and so spending time with somebody brewing can help improve your beers and your brewing, and also theirs. And in the end, we're all friends. We all hang out together. We all drink beers together anyways. So it's also fun to brew beer together. Well, we don't hold any bias against raw materials. And there is a place in beer for rice, and there's a place for wheat, and there's a place for rye. We do a lot of hazy IPA. We use a lot of oats. So yeah, if the beer calls for it, of course we'll use those things. We would never sacrifice the quality of a product for profit or for a greater volumes or whatever, but for sure, yeah. We have submitted in the past. There's years we've submitted and years we haven't submitted. Up until now, we've been a contract brewery, and we often just haven't had product available at the time that the beer awards happen. We have won awards in the past. I think it's an important for the industry, more for the general public to see what's happening and how good the beer is here. Having traveled a lot in the past 10 years, I can tell you that I've had some of the best rated beers in the world at the breweries they're made at. And when you come back home, you find the beer here is just as good as it is in Belgium or it is in Portland or San Diego. The quality of product made in these provinces, amazing. So I'm actually from Camrose. That was about 55 minutes southeast of Edmonton here. I grew up there, but Edmonton was our closest major city. So I sort of grew up coming to Edmonton a lot, and then moved here as an adult to pursue a career in marketing. Meanwhile, I had already started brewing at a brewery in Camrose. And what I found in Edmonton is the culture is really, really strong here, particularly around food and beverage. There's a lot of incredible restaurants. We're one of the most multicultural cities in the world, so you can get any kind of food here. The talent here is phenomenal. Edmonton is sort of an isolated city. We're really far north, so we don't get tourists like other Canadian cities or world cities do. But for not getting the tourists, the quality and diversity of food and beverage in Edmonton is phenomenal. So being a part of that and eating cuisine from all over the world, we brought that a little bit into our brand a tiny bit. We'd like to do American beers, of course, but European beers, Belgian beers, and then experimental stuff. And we're really, really excited to be part of the food and beverage scene here in Edmonton. Well, like a lot of government, there's a lot of energy put into helping. One department to help you and one department to work against you. Yeah, the city's been pretty supportive. And the province, and also the federal government, who we report to the provincial and federal government for our manufacturing. And anytime we've run into a snag, there has been help there. The AGLC in recent years has opened up a lot of their rules and regulations surrounding breweries. And anytime that we've had questions or concerns or needed a little bit of help, they have helped us along. Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're inspired by breweries all over the world. The craft beer explosion in the States in the late 90s, early 2000s, that led to a few more breweries opening up in Canada. I distinctly remember in my 20s spending a lot of time on Google searching all the bars and restaurants in Edmonton to try to find a craft beer. And as those markets grew and that product came into our market, we've been very fortunate in Alberta that we can beer can be brought in from anywhere in the world into our liquor store system. So we're very fortunate that we were able to try a lot of these craft beers before other parts of Canada had them. And we're definitely inspired by not only Americans, but the Europeans. Our hazy IPA, that's a new style out of the States, newer style. And we wouldn't have those beers if we weren't influenced by the Americans. Yeah, I can't put my finger on what it is about the craft beer community. We're all friends. We all hang out together. We all drink beers together. When we're short on a material, a bag of barley or something, we're more than happy to help each other out. We've been saved by other breweries on a brew day where we needed something and we've helped others. I don't know of any other group of people that are as good as beer people. Everybody's always friendly, always excited to see each other. It's a really, really unique community where we help each other that you just don't find in other industries. I think part of the reason I gravitated to beer once I got my toes wet in the industry is that it's fun. It's really, really fun. Even on the worst day, you're still having fun. You still got a beer at the end of the day. I couldn't see myself working in a can industry. I think craft beer, at least at our scale right now, will always be small and niche. We're a very small team. We're local business, and we're making beers for the people around us. We're buying raw ingredients locally, and we're supporting a whole community, a whole industry of people. There will be breweries that go bigger. Something that we see in the numbers is that the beer drinking, beer is declining in sales, but craft beer is taking up a bigger piece of that pie. And like I said before too, we're adaptable. So as trends change and drinking habits change, we'll do our best to adapt to those. There's a lot of products, a lot of beers and adjacent products that a brewery can make now that aren't just beer, to appeal to a wider audience as well.
We got Field and Forge for you and Long Roof Brewing. I'm gonna let them tell you a little bit about them, and we'll get these beers tapped, and should be a great one.
Hey there, I'm Troy, and this is Ben. We're from Long Roof. We're situated just over in Ritchie, right behind Barb and Ernie's, actually, in a back alley with pretty super small batch, always rotating beers. So always something new on tap, and we're really tap room focused because of our small size. So you got to come down to Long Roof to check us out.
Hi there, I'm Troy Wassel. I'm one of the co-founders and the head brewer here at Long Roof Brewing. So Long Roof Brewing's been around for about almost 2.5 years now. We moved into the Ritchie neighborhood in the early days of the Happy Beer Street, just coming to be. So we chose kind of the Ritchie Hazelbean 99th Street district, because I used to live in the neighborhood, and The community itself really fits with kind of our modus operandi, the idea of family-friendly communal meeting. The community is really strong around here. So when we moved in, there was 3 other breweries on the street. Now we're 8. And it's this Happy Beer Street, 99th Street corridor has been expanding exponentially, which is absolutely wonderful. Something we didn't necessarily expect at the time when we chose the neighborhood, but it certainly is working out for us. The community here in the whole city is, I'd like to say, unprecedented when it comes to a craft beer community, but as we've had the opportunity to work with other Alberta breweries, I'm finding that I just think that's the general go-to for the industry. Everybody enjoys supporting each other. You enjoy supporting the crafting of new, exciting beer ideas. Before we started Longwood, we brewed together for 10 years, approximately, in a garage, concentrated as we were growing up and really growing our craft beer roots into the middle of the IPA craze. So up here at Longroof, we do love our IPAs, try to keep at least 1 or 2 on tap at any point in time. We're also big fans of saisons and farmhouse beers. But that said, I still think we get the most excited about doing styles that we haven't done before or slightly outside the box styles. We look to keep our tap list continually rotating with something new every time that you come in here, unless you're here week to week. But there might be 1 or 2 times when there isn't something new. But we do definitely try to keep things rotating. We have now 4 to 6 beers that seem to be becoming regular beers. They've been made multiple times, some fan favorites and some of our favorites, to be honest. But really, it's about rotating taps, something new, something exciting across a wide variety of styles. Because sooner or later, everybody wants something a little bit different. So. When we were looking in the Ritchie community here, we were looking up and down 99th Street for a great location. And we lucked out and found this old, it was an automotive garage for years. The owner of the building, actually, his father built the building back in the 50s. It's been an automotive garage since day one. We found a space and have converted it into our brewery. We absolutely love it. We say we started in a garage, brewing in a garage, and now we just brew in a bigger brewery. It's wonderful because it's a back alley with a west-facing patio, lots of sunlight through the summer, and a little bit quieter, not street forward. We like to think of ourselves as a little bit of a hidden gem. When we were originally looking for a place to start our brewery, 99th Street was high on our radar. We had some friends that had a couple breweries a couple blocks away, and we absolutely love the neighborhood of Ritchie and Hazeldean. So that was one of our top priorities, was finding a good community to move into with a lot of walking distance, keep people responsible, and 99th worked out wonderfully. As we were looking, there started to be rumblings of this Happy Beer Street. So that was not originally on our list, being part of Happy Beer Street, but we sure are appreciative about being accepted into this wonderful group of breweries that really continues to push craft beer in the city and across the province. One of the great things about Edmonton and Happy Beer Street is the fact that now we have a north side of the river equivalent in the Hot Pocket, which is absolutely wonderful. It was I can fully admit that there were many times where the Happy Beer Street group got together and were just so happy about getting this opportunity to work together consistently, and felt bad and almost guilty about breweries that were kind of outside of our district. So to see groups like the Hot Pocket and hopefully others in other areas of the city get together and build these small communities within the community, I think is wonderful. I think everybody brainstorming together, bouncing ideas off each other, it allows us to do events, get our names out there, raise the awareness of the community in an efficient manner. You're not grabbing your idea. You might have another brewery who might poke holes in why your idea doesn't work. And thank goodness we didn't do that. That would have been a large waste of time. The opportunity to work together for a common goal. I'm sure it's been said before, but craft beer is still a relatively low percentage of the beer that's being sold in Alberta. So we're a long ways away from needing to compete with each other. We can work together despite being in different companies, and really we've got a lot of the market that we can target before we have to worry, or I don't think we ever will, about competing with each other. So we're an extremely small brew house. We do about 600 liters at a time, get about 500 liters package. So when we originally opened, we were extremely taproom focused. We opened in the middle of COVID. When we signed our lease, within a month, we found out that everything was being shut down. So we did a lot of build and during COVID, and canning was never on our radar because we were super taproom focused with small production. But as things have grown, canning seems to be almost a requirement. We have so many customers who just want something outside of the tap room. So now we do limited canning, which allows people to grab off sales, so to speak, in the tap room and take it home from the venues, etc. But currently we're not quite into liquor stores yet, as we just don't produce enough to keep up with it. So over the last 10-15 years, craft beer has been growing everywhere. And I think Alberta, to be honest, save for a few special pockets, was really falling behind the rest of the world. North America anyways, when it came to craft beer. We really got interested in the brewing and pushed ourselves as brewers right as that explosion was happening within the province, which worked out for us because it's allowed us to kind of realize some of our dreams. Look around here, this is amazing. I think the idea of the same beer, 6 beers to choose from, beer never really got its just desserts when it came to respect. And as craft beers from around the world were introduced into the marketplace, they've gained popularity mostly because I think they've gained respect. There's something new and exciting in every single brewery you walk into in the city, in the province, in the country. we've taken the standard straightforward lagers or straightforward dark ales, and craft brewing community has decided to push that and make it more accessible. And beers are no longer just brewed for beer drinkers. I think there's a lot of beers that are brewed for people who don't like beer to prove to them that they really do. It's not the standard, it's not your grandfather's beer, although there's a couple super clean, straightforward lagers for sure. But the ability now to go out and have something new, choose something exciting, flavorful, many more fruited beers, spiced beers, taking dark beers to new places. The creativity that's gone into the craft brewing scene is really what is driving, I believe, its growth within the marketplace. There's obviously a lot of discussion about when to brew beers, and dark beers in the winter, crisp, light, sessionable beers in the summer. The great thing about the Edmonton, where you think there would be, about the Edmonton community, you'd think there'd be a lot of dark beers in our real cold winters and a lot of light beers in our hot, short summers. There doesn't seem to be that direct push by a lot of craft brewers. The idea that people can drink stouts in the summertime, a light, lower ABV, slightly drier stout, and the idea of having that super crisp lager in the middle of the winter, that's part of what really is pushing, I believe, craft beer, is that we've thrown the rules out the way. There's Omen just down the street from us, a couple blocks, who specializes in dark beers, although their light beers are amazing too. But those dark beers are the biggest seller year round because they just do it well. It's been great. Like I said, Edmonton's been behind the rest of the province, let alone the country, with growing the craft beer. And with the recent explosion, I think the Edmonton craft beer community is really open to whatever makes them happy. They don't necessarily adhere to the old school rules of when you're supposed to drink what beer, which has been super fun for us because we do a summer stout every year just for the sole purpose of having a stout on tap in the summer. So here at Long Roof, the co-founders, like I said, we brewed together for years. When we opened the building, we all took slightly different roles. I myself took the role of lead brewer, so to speak, and was doing most of the brewing. As the company grew, obviously we all continued to brew together whenever their other duties allowed it, because ultimately that's what we are. We're just beer lovers. We love brewing. It wasn't so much about owning a brewery as it was about getting to create beers that we love drinking and our friends love drinking. And that plan seems to be working well for us, as we just were able to finally hire brewer help. So we've got a new brewer, Travis, in with us, just graduated Olds College. He's brewing with us now as well, which is absolutely wonderful. Backing up our tanks, we're, as I said, very small batch and not too many tanks. So we're getting to the point where we're progressing, and we have to start thinking now about expanding and how big we want to do that expansion. It's always a big conversation in the craft brewing industry. How big do you want to go? How quickly before you start losing touch with your craft mission statement, so to say. We look to expand, not too big. We want to do a slow, calculated expansion to stay relevant and ensure that we're not doing anything that actually compromises our original intent for them. One of the greatest things about being situated here in Edmonton and in Alberta is the fact that Alberta does grow some of the best malt in the world. So we really concentrate on trying to get as much of our malt as possible from some of the great local maltsters, and I won't try to name them because if I do, I know I'll forget one. I'll feel horrible about it. We still do get a couple specialty grains out of Europe, etc. But even the local maltsters now are working hard on new techniques that are replicating or giving an Alberta twist to a lot of these traditional malting. So we try to get as much of our base malt as we, or not base malt, base and specialty malts from the multitude of Alberta maltsters right now. And we're so lucky that we have so much on hand, close by. And the maltsters are such a big part of the brewing community within the province, which is absolutely amazing. They're almost treated like other brewers. We all know how important they are to allowing us to continue making great beers and innovating when it comes to new ideas and pushing the limits. Inevitably, every year, there's multiple beer awards and festivals that come up. We love to send in beers, get comments. I'll be honest, as the brewer, it has less to do with the actual awards and more to do with the comments from the judges and tasters that come back. It's real, unfiltered information that we can take back and decide how to make our beers better with. Difficult in our tap room because, like I said, craft beer community is wonderful, and it's hard to get a negative comment from our patrons. So craft beer awards, we love to take part in them. Yeah, mostly because it is a standard that is set, allows us to see exactly how we're doing in reference to everybody else. And the Alberta Craft Beer Awards are wonderful because it's just a great time to get together with everybody from across the province, not just small pockets of groups and one small collab beer or a happy beer street event that we take part in. It really allows us to get out there and see everybody at least once a year in one place. But ultimately, when it comes to the awards, it's more about the feedback than it is about the awards themselves, although I'll never say no to it.